What up, everybody? What up, everybody? What up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of AC Reviews the World. I'm your host, AC the Engineer, and we are at episode 76. Let's give it a round. Yep, episode 76. Like always, we got a lot of things to talk about. Hope everybody's having a beautiful Monday. It is December 1st, 2025, and it's 7 o'clock. It's the beginning of the week. Hopefully everybody had a good Thanksgiving, didn't eat too much, but always eat the right amount. I, on the other hand, hate too much. Couldn't even go to work the next day. But, hey, that's how it is every Thanksgiving. You know how I like to do it. We're going to jump right into it in a second. Remember, y'all, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you can be up to date on all the videos I'm dropping. If you don't know, well, I stream now Monday through Fridays. It'll either starting at 6 or 7. We'll go over 4 different topics. And just the 4 different topics that came out most recently that we need to talk about. Monday's a little different because we got some stuff that we got to talk about that happened over the weekend. But you know how I like to do it. Let's jump right into it. The first thing we're going to talk about today, we got to go to Southeast Asia. I don't know if y'all know about this, but over 800 deaths. Some places are reporting 1,000 deaths from a Southeast Asia storm. Mother Nature can be very cruel. We got to pray for them. So let's get over into that and see what we can learn from this situation. Remember, y'all, can't play with Mother Nature. You can't play with Mother Nature, but let's get over into it and see what we can learn from this situation. Absolutely crazy. We got a few videos to look at.
Meantime, a major rescue, recovery and cleanup operation is underway in Southeast Asia. A combination of monsoon rains, a cyclone and a typhoon have created widespread flooding and landslides. More than 1,000 people are dead across Indonesia, Sri Lanka and Thailand. Hundreds more are still missing. Some areas are unreachable because of damaged roads and downed power lines. Those who are cut off are now relying on aircraft to get aid, deliveries and supplies. The extreme weather now making its way to India. For more on this now, I'm joined by freelance journalist David Gunumbaun. He joins us live from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. David, appreciate your time here on CBC Morning Live. I want to start with Indonesia, where Sumatra Island was hit very, very hard. Give us a sense of the situation right now on the ground.
Yeah, well, the death toll right now up to almost 600 people, hundreds more still missing, 300,000 people displaced. This is the worst natural disaster to hit Indonesia since an earthquake in 2018. Now, the government has deployed Navy warships, which have humanitarian aid. They've also deployed hospital ships, which of course have medical care and doctors on board to try to treat people. And they can bring these into some of the larger areas where they're needed for help. But there are so many communities that are completely cut off because there were landslides that have made the roads impassable, and there's just not enough heavy equipment to clear these roads. And these villages, some of them are cut off. Not only can they not be reached on land, but the communication lines are down. So authorities have not been able to communicate with anyone in some of these villages to find out how bad the situation is. And so one of the things we need to keep in mind here, when you have disasters like this, there are people who survive the initial floods, but then die in the days right after because they're often running low on food and water, and they may need medical care right away, and the aid just does not get to them in time.
Now, that is a good point. We've talked about that before with the hurricane that hit Jamaica and just different times like that. The initial hit doesn't always cause a crazy amount of deaths. It sometimes does, but the majority, a lot of the deaths come from just later on, just from people just being stranded, not being able to get help, medications, and they're not being able to get medication, all that kinds of stuff. Let's keep going.
Thing I should point out, there are reports coming out of Sumatra Island of people looting convenience stores of food and water because they're just running out. Again, they have not been able to get aid to a lot of the people who need it yet.
Indeed, devastating, very difficult situation there. David, as you also point out, literally being cut off. I want to move north to Sri Lanka and Thailand. What is the situation like in those two countries?
So Sri Lanka, the death toll about 355 people, hundreds still missing there. About 500,000 people have needed humanitarian aid. There's widespread flooding in both rural and urban areas. Colombo, the biggest city, so many neighborhoods completely swamped. People were rescued by aid teams who were on boats. They were pulled off their rooftops and their second floors. There's also hospitals that have been completely swamped with floodwaters. The UN has put out concerns about waterborne diseases spreading, so a real serious situation there. The government has asked for international help. They've been getting it from Japan and India and other countries. Now, if we move over to Thailand, the death toll at 176. The area that was hit hardest, the city of Hat Yai, got 355 millimeters of rain in just one day. But the good news for Thailand is that the floodwaters are receding.
David, really appreciate the update on this extremely devastating situation out there, and I know you'll follow it for us. David Gunabal is in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Thanks again.
Absolutely tragic situation. So overall, they're saying 1,000 people have died from the storm in Southeast Asia. Let's get over into this next video.
As floods recede and reveal the trail of destruction left by torrential rains in Indonesia, Thailand, and Malaysia, officials have reported a rising death toll. That is in the wake of a rare tropical storm formed in the Malacca Strait, unleashing devastating downpours and powerful winds which lasted for a week across Southeast Asia. By Monday, officials had reported more than 500 dead in Indonesia, over 170 in Thailand, and several in Malaysia. In Indonesia's West Sumatra province, a wall is all that's left of one family's home after cyclonic rain struck the region.
Ini rumah saya, rumah pribadi.
This was my home. I have 9 of my family members here. We have nothing left. Everything was gone. We only have the clothes on our backs. We couldn't bring anything else.
Yang di badan aja yang dibawa, nggak ada semuanya yang dibawa yang bisa dikeluarkan karena air itu titik.
When it happened, the water just rose up to the house and we were afraid, so we fled. And then we came back on Friday and the house was gone, destroyed.
Kejadian itu sesudah Jumat rumahnya habis ada lagi kegiatan, hancur semuanya.
Rescue and aid efforts are struggling to reach parts of the province as landslide debris blocks roads and communication and power lines remain down. In southern Thailand, residents in Hat Yai have started to clean up after a week of downpours, which left piles of cars stuck on roads and muddied homes and businesses. Some shop owners resorted to selling heavily damaged goods at big discounts.
I need to clear the stock. The condition they're in after being flooded, shoes soaked and ruined like this. People don't have clothes, right? So I'm helping by selling everything cheaply so they can have something to wear.
In Malaysia's northern Perlis state, paddy fields look like the sea as non-stop rain submerged stretches of land. One farmer said the rains have completely ruined his fields. Relief and rescue efforts continue across all 3 countries. But with hundreds still missing and millions affected, the region faces a long road to recovery.
Wow, absolutely crazy. Some of that was farmland. People were, oh, God. Let's get over into this next video.
The death toll from floods and landslides in Indonesia alone passed 600 on Monday as rescuers battled to clear roads and rescue trapped residents. Indonesia, Malaysia, and Thailand were struck by a rare tropical storm that unleashed torrential rains and winds for a week. As the skies cleared, the scope of the disaster is now coming into focus. The number of dead approached 800 across Southeast Asia.
Ini bangunannya dari sini, ini musola.
In Indonesia's West Sumatra province, Muhammad Rais pointed to what he said used to be a house. and a mosque, his parents' house, his brother's house, and his in-laws.
mak tua.
He said there were 12 people here. 2 didn't survive. He said his mother and mother-in-law were sick and could not walk. In neighboring Malaysia, 11,600 people were still in evacuation centers, according to the country's disaster agency. It said it was still on alert for a second and third wave of flooding. The devastation in the 3 countries follows months of adverse and deadly weather in Southeast Asia, including typhoons that have lashed the Philippines and Vietnam. Scientists have warned that extreme weather events will become more frequent as a result of global warming. In Indonesia's Palambayan, row after row of houses had collapsed, and streets were littered with debris carried by landslides and floodwaters. Rescue teams were seen carrying away a body across a swath of rural land now covered in uprooted trees and household furniture. Indonesia's recovery efforts include restoring roads, bridges, and telecommunications services. Indonesian President Prabowo Subianto visited 3 of the affected provinces on Monday and praised residents for their spirit in the face of what he called a catastrophe. More than 28,000 homes have been damaged in Indonesia and 1.5 million people affected, according to the country's disaster agency.
That is devastating. That is truly devastating. It's all we can do is pray. All we can do is pray for them, because they said weeks. They either said a week or weeks of heavy downpour. And in total, it ended up with over the different news outlets saying over 1,000 people had died. You can't imagine it. It's something you can't imagine. But these are the things we have to look at, because some of these things aren't getting brought to the news. Some people aren't talking about this. It's a tragic situation, and we got to pray for the other side of the world. Now, here they mentioned something that I would like to talk about: global warming. How do you believe in global warming? Some people don't believe in it. Some people saying it's just made up. But they're saying that because of global warming, these horrible storms and deadly storms are going to get more and more common. Let me know your thoughts, y'all. Let me know your thoughts. Absolutely crazy. It's a crazy world we live in, but we got to keep reviewing the world together. We have to keep reviewing the world together. But let's pivot. We're going to pivot over into the next topic for today. We got to go over to the Stockton mass shooting. We like everybody's seen. Some people might have seen. We got the Stockton mass shooting. It seems like every single day we talk about a mass shooting, a mass killing. There's a lot of demons in the world. But let's get over into it and see what we can learn about what's happening. We got a few videos to look at, so let's get over into it. The total right now is 4 dead, 11 people have injured. And it all happened at a child's birthday party. So let's get over into it and see what we can learn from this situation. Absolutely crazy. Let's get into it.
What we're experiencing now in times of tragedy and chaos is the exact time where the people that are filled with the Spirit of God, the Spirit of change, can come together in a time of tragedy to make the kind of changes that are needed in this city to produce a new reality for our people.
A community remains in shock this morning after a gunman opened fire at a child's birthday party, killing 4 and injuring nearly a dozen others. Last night, hundreds gathered in Stockton to pray for the families mourning their loved ones and for those still recovering in the hospital.
The children who were killed were just 8, 9, and 14 years old. Fourth victim was 21. San Joaquin County Sheriff's Office actively searching for those responsible. And here's a look at the bullet holes inside that banquet hall where the shooting took place. Authorities say happened around 6 o'clock Saturday night. Investigators believe multiple shooters were involved. They even found firearms on the roof of the hall.
We believe from what we've gathered so far that there appears to be multiple shooters. I understand that there were some firearms found on the roof of the building, but whether they're related to this crime or not, we do not know. So I don't know how many, if there were multiple or one. So we're just, again, waiting to see how they fit in, if they do, to this crime.
The sheriff says this was a targeted attack. However, the mayor of Stockton calling it a gang-related shooting. Sheriff says he can't confirm that quite yet.
Now to a live look at the state capitol this morning. Governor Gavin Newsom and first partner Jennifer Siebel Newsom have been speaking out about the shooting. Most recently, Governor Gavin Newsom said his heart goes out to the victims and loved ones, the victims' loved ones rather, and all of Stockton. The governor's wife adding on X, quote, "What happened in Stockton is devastating. The governor and I are profoundly heartbroken knowing that those lost were children and young people. We're holding Stockton, the families, and the entire community close to our heart."
You gotta be one sick demon to shoot up a child's birthday party. Demons walk among us. Demons walk among us. It's absolutely crazy. Let's get over into this next video.
That breaking news is in Stockton. The community still trying to come to terms with a deadly mass shooting at a child's birthday party over the weekend. 4 young lives were lost, 11 people were injured, and we're now learning about one of the victims who died Saturday night. This is 14-year-old Amari Peterson. A GoFundMe describes him as a bright and promising young soul. Friends and family say Amari was a football and basketball player, a brother, a son, and a cousin. He was making plans for his future and was already looking into colleges. Peterson is just one of the 4 people killed in that shooting in Stockton, one of 3 of the children. Right now, authorities are searching for the shooters responsible for this horrible act of violence. They believe there are multiple suspects. The San Joaquin County Sheriff's Office says the attack was targeted. It happened Saturday night at a banquet hall off Lucille Avenue. More than 100 people were there for a child's birthday party. The 4 victims killed were 8, 9, 14, that's Amari, and 21 years old. And as we just told you, Amari was the 14-year-old. We know the 8-year-old child was a student in the Stockton Unified School District. The district is offering counselors and mental health clinicians at all 55 of its schools. The district's board president promised they will do everything in their power to ensure students and families have a place of safety, healing, and support.
They said it was 8, 9, 14, and 22. Out of the 4 people dead, 3 were children. Multiple shooters. We need to see what these sick individuals look like. Hopefully they catch them quickly. Let's keep going.
Right now we have KCRA 3's Anahita Jafari live at the San Joaquin County Sheriff's Office. So Anahita, what are they telling you? Is there an update on this investigation?
Well, it's been a very emotional couple of days here in San Joaquin County, and right now we're joined by Heather Brent. She is the PIO spokesperson for the San Joaquin County Sheriff's Office, to tell us a little bit more about this investigation. Heather, can you tell us where the investigation stands right now?
We are about, I believe, 36 hours into this investigation, and I've said this time and time again, we're leaving no stone unturned. So our team and outside assisting agencies spent about 21 hours at the scene, making sure that they gathered all evidence, any information that they could from those who were there, those who witnessed this terrible incident, and they're not stopping until they gather all the facts.
We know that there's been a very heavy police and sheriff presence out there. Even yesterday when we were at the vigil, I saw Sheriff Withrow out there with you as well. We wanted to ask you a little bit about, during the time you guys have spent out there at the scene, have you gathered any more information or any details on the suspect or suspects that are still out there?
The information has been flooding in. They have gathered information while they were out there, and they're investigating all possibilities in regards to finding the suspects involved in this.
I know that you guys have mentioned that this is potentially an isolated incident, so should people out there be worried about who these suspects are, or is there anything they can look out for?
The best thing that the community can do right now is, if you hear something, say something. We've always said that when it comes to any type of crime. And right now it's important that any information, even if you believe it's dismissive, share it with us. We have a non-emergency line that you can contact. You can provide that number later. But any information is valuable right now in ensuring that we find the suspects and anybody who may have assisted these suspects.
And as far as those suspects go, we did talk to Mayor Christina Fugazi yesterday, Mayor of Stockton. She told us that this is potentially gang-related. We know that the Sheriff's Office has not confirmed this. Can you touch on that?
We're committed to the facts. So there's information that has been shared on social media. There's information that has been sent into the sheriff's office. And our number one priority right now when we release information is that we ensure that it is 100% factual. So we're not going to share something unless we know that it's 100% true.
And I know there's a lot of people out there that are very concerned about the victims in this situation. We know that 4 people have died. There are 11 still injured. Can you touch on those 11 victims that were shot at and how their condition is and the ages they range in?
We're working on getting a count to be able to update everyone on the victims. We know that that's a big concern right now. We can ensure that some have been moved from critical to stable condition. A handful, I can't give an exact number, have been released from the hospital. And I believe right now we only have 1 who is still in critical to moderate condition. So I know that hospital has been incredible in working to update us and to ensure that these victims are getting the best care that they can get.
Do we know if some of the victims that have been shot at but are still alive, if they are children?
There are children. The ages range, I believe, anywhere from 8 up to around 30 years old. I'm not going to give specific ages on this, but we do know that there have been some schools, Stockton Unified, Lodi Unified, even I believe Modesto. Their staff have reached out to see if these victims might be students at their schools, and they're offering grief support for anybody who may, been related or affected by this incident.
So we're hearing this over and over again out here at the sheriff's office from different leaders in the community. But if anybody has any information, please reach out to the sheriff's office and say something like Heather mentioned if you see something or hear something. Sending it back to you in the studio.
All right. And as you mentioned, we want to put that number up on the screen, Anahita. This is what they were talking about, the Stockton Crime Stoppers phone number. If you know anything, you can remain anonymous. The number is 209-946-0600. That's 209-946-0600. There is a $25,000 reward for tips that lead to an arrest and conviction. And Stockton's Mayor Christina Fugazi says she is in contact with federal leaders seeking support to fight what she calls gang violence.
I've been in contact with the White House. The Department of Justice has a pilot program that they have put out there where they are going to pour all of their resources into 1 or 2 communities in the nation, and I have put our name in for that. I've also requested a U.S. attorney because we're not going to allow this to continue.
The sheriff says the shooting was likely targeted, but can't confirm yet if it was gang-related violence. Governor Gavin Newsom and first partner Jennifer Siebel Newsom have also spoken about the shooting. Newsom says his heart goes out to the victims' loved ones and all of Stockton. The first partner posted on social media saying, quote, "What happened in Stockton is devastating. The governor and I are profoundly heartbroken knowing that those lost were children and young people. We're holding Stockton, the families, and the entire community close to our hearts." We'll continue.
Now, here's a question. Do you think it's gang-related? Most likely. You got to be honest about it. Most likely it's gang related. But we will keep up with this to see if they give us more information. It's a tragic situation, absolutely tragic situation. Let's get over into an article. So we can learn a little bit more about this. Let's see. So, like I said, at least 4 people, including 3 children, have been killed in a mass shooting at a children's birthday party in California. The victims were 9, 14, and 21. A spokesman from the sheriff's office said 11 other people were injured, 1 critical, at a restaurant in the state's northern city, Stockton. A suspect is still on the loose. Authorities say that they believe the shooting may have been targeted and have been committed by multiple people. The city's deputy mayor said that the attack had occurred at a children's birthday party. Police had previously described the event as a family gathering. A spokesman for the sheriff's office confirmed on Monday that the gathering was a children's birthday party. No additional details were provided, but a neighbor told the Times that the party was for a 2-year-old. A birthday party should never be a place where families fear for their lives. The sheriff's office said that a shooting happened shortly before, 2 p.m. No, what is that? 1800 local time. And is appealing to anyone with information of the footage who have witnessed any part of this incident to come forward. Britt described the incident as unfathomable, adding that it is very active and ongoing investigation. Early indications suggest that it may have be a targeted incident, and the investigators are exploring all possibilities. Stockton's mayor, Kristen Fagu, I cannot say that name, called the shooting unacceptable. She added the family should be together instead of at the hospital, standing next to their loved ones, praying that they survive. On Sunday, the mayor said that they will match a $10,000 reward for any information leading to the arrest and conviction. Let's see, the councilman offered $5,000, bringing the total to $25,000. People who lived nearby told the local outlets they heard gunshots for about a minute, and they heard more than one person firing. We believe that multiple shooters, but the detectives need to confirm as much as possible. One man told the LA Times that his brother was the 21-year-old man who was killed, saying that he had been hit in the neck and died at the scene. I'm just upset right now. My brother died in my arms. He told the newspaper. He was said he had been full of life and energy. Mr. Lopez also said his 9-year-old daughter had been among those who were injured but survived, having been shot in the head during the assault. Let's see. Patricia identified herself as the aunt of Mr. Archuleta. She quoted by the BBC U.S. partner CBS saying he was a good kid and he went to the celebration for a friend. Absolutely crazy. Now I did see, I saw something else pop up, so let's go over to that real quickly. Stop. And, let's go over to this. I just seen something. Let's see. Where did that go? Hold on a second. Let me find it. Oh, that's what it was. So let's get over into this other article real quickly. So from the New York Post, a rapper targeted in the Stockton mass shooting is hiding out, fearing for his life after being shot at the little girl's birthday party. So a rapper targeted in the deadly birthday party mass shooting that left 3 kids dead is hiding out of fear of his life after he and his wife were both wounded, his dad says. So rapper, I can't even say his name, was among the 15 people shot at the birthday party for his friend's 2-year-old daughter inside the monkey space at a banquet hall. His father, Dragon, told. So his real name, John, had previously fled Stockton and was living outside Sacramento. He returned to the crime-ridden city of 300,000 people to meet his fellow rapper pals at the birthday party, his dad said. The rappers, let's see, he came to drop off a present at his friend's birthday party, whose daughter was the celebrant. He was shot, but he is okay. He called me and said, "Don't say anything to nobody," he continued. The Stockton-based rapper moved out of the area 2 years ago because he feared for his safety, including an incident where other thugs shot 22 bullets at his parents' house a few years ago. "My daughter-in-law was hit in the butt," he said, "and we were worried. I'm worried about my wife, but I can't do anything about it." 3 children and 1 young adult were killed, which the mayor was related to gang violence. So it could have been because of they could have been targeting this young rapper. Now, we don't know for sure, but this is what the New York Post is posting. At the end of the day, it's a crazy situation. You have to be one sick SOB to shoot up a child's birthday party, a 2-year-old child birthday party. But if they want you out of there, they're going to do whatever they want to. There are demons in this world, and you got to keep your head on the swivel. What are your thoughts, y'all? What are your thoughts on that whole situation? It's a crazy world we live in, y'all. It's a crazy world we live in. Absolutely wild. Let me know your thoughts on that whole situation. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. But we're going to pivot. We're going to pivot over into the next topic for today. It looks like something I wasn't expecting to see. Let's go. A teen was killed by a lion at a zoo. So this happened in Brazil. And as you can guess, the teen climbed into the lion enclosure. Some people are stupid. We got to be honest. Some people are stupid. But I don't know if he has some mental defects or something like that, so it might be inappropriate to call him stupid. But he was mauled to death by a lion at the zoo. I don't know why he thought he could climb in there, but he did it, and he has lost his life because of it. So let's get over into this. We got two videos and one article to read. But what can make someone want to climb into the lion enclosure? Was he dared to do it? Was he just not in the right headspace? I don't know. But let's get over into it and see what we can learn. Stop it right there. Hold on. Where is it at? A 19-year-old who dreamed of becoming a lion tamer climbed a 20-foot fence to get into the big cat's enclosure. So he dreamed of being a lion tamer. The teen who had reportedly been diagnosed with schizophrenia. With schizophrenia and spent time in prison was mauled to death. So he had mental issues, legitimate mental issues. He was not the first zoo visitor to make his way into the lion enclosure and pay the price. What kind of zoo is this? Including a man who climbed into the cage.
Why would somebody come and try to enter, scale the fence and go inside to do what? If you are going for the cubs, the lioness and the male will protect their cubs. So please, this is a warning to people who have other intentions and ulterior motives. Please, this is a no-go area.
So a man who was found mauled to death at the zoo after cleaning workers came across a big cat with a shoe in his mouth. Absolutely crazy. So he has schizophrenia and other mental issues, but for some reason he wanted to be a lion tamer and thought that he could go into the enclosure and I guess tame the lion. It's a tragic moment. Let's see this little short video just You saw how he seen the lion come up, looked at him for a minute, and then decided just to climb on down.
Shooting happening on one.
Absolutely crazy. Oh, absolutely crazy. It's a crazy world we live in. It's a crazy world we live in. What are your thoughts? Let's get over into this article and see if we can learn anything else about the teen who died. Let's get over in it by CBS. So a Brazilian teen was mauled to death by a lioness in a full video visitors on Sunday after scaling a 6-meter wall and safety fencing and shimmering down a tree into an enclosure. The municipal government of the coastal city of I'm not good with names now, said a young man identified as by the Brazilian media as Gerson de Malio Machado, 19, had deliberately invaded the lioness enclosure at the Umbrella Camera Zubotanical Park. In a rapid and surprising manner, he climbed down the wall over 6 meters high, scaled the security bars, assessed one of the trees, and entered the enclosure. The government said in a statement. The viral video of the attack showed the lioness Leon, lying next to the glass separating her from the vehicles, who grasped in shock as the teen shimmered down the tree. So the lioness spotted him and makes a beeline for the tree, pulling him down to the ground. Brushes are seen shaking, and the teen standing up for one more time before disappearing from view. It got him. It got him. The visitors came and can be heard saying that, "Oh my God." The government statement said that he died from his injuries caused by the animal. The zoo said in a statement on Instagram that the incident was extremely sad and that it is closed while investigating continues. We reiterated that the park follows rigorous technical standards and safety protocols, and we fully cooperating with all responsible bodies to clarify the fact, the zoo says. In a separate Instagram post, the park said that it was never considered for the lion, who shows no aggressive behavior outside the context of this incident. The Becca team veterinarians, handlers, and technicians are fully dedicated to the lioness' well-being, ensuring that she recovers, stabilizes, and emotionally, and resumes her normal routine safely, the park said. Let's see. Defended the safety standards about the lion enclosure, which he said more than 8 meters of protection. The incident was completely unforeseeable outside of any scenario within the park's routine. Makes sense. No one would expect the teen to climb over an 8-meter tall fence. That's what he said, 8 meter tall. And then go down and shimmy down. The government statement said that initial investigation showed that the man's actions may have been a possible suicide attempt. Child protection counselor said that the video on the Instagram that she had accompanied for 8 years as he went through all the institutional care. She said the mother and grandparents suffer from schizophrenia, but state psychiatrists said that he merely had behavioral problems. So he didn't have real schizophrenia. He should have been in treatment, she said. In other media interviews, they said he had dreamed of being a lion tamer and once cut through an airport fence and hid in the landing gear of a plane he thought was going to Africa. So he had serious mental issues. Society, without knowing your story, preferred to throw you into the lion's den, she said. Fatal lion attacks at zoos are extremely rare, but this marks the second incident in the fewer than 3 months. In September, a zookeeper in Thailand was killed by lions after he stepped out of his vehicle at a safari park. Late last October, a group of lions mauled a zookeeper to death in Camara after a door inside their enclosure was left unlocked. In 2018, a lion escaped this enclosure and killed a recent college graduate at the North Carolina Conservatory during a routine cleaning. Authorities were told that the lion was able to enter the same space as the 22-year-old Alex Black because a large ball prevented the lion's pen from closing. Absolutely crazy. So some of these things are just crazy. So the one where they talked about they was killed on a safari park. Yeah, okay. I can like you're out in a safari park. But this one kid in North Carolina, just because a ball prevented the lion pen from closing, and the other one mauled by a zookeeper because the door inside the enclosure was left unlocked. Stupid mistakes. Horrible mistakes, but it ended up in somebody dying. Now, I wonder, they didn't mention this about the lioness that just killed someone, but I'm assuming if it's an accident, maybe, or if it's the own person's fault, they don't have to put the lion down. Because you know with dogs, if the dog goes out and hits somebody or tries to attack somebody, they put the dog down. It's a crazy situation, y'all. But he dreamed of being a lion tamer, climbed up 8-meter tall fence, shimmied down the tree, seen the lion looking at him in his eye from his peripheral, decided to continue shimmying down, and the lion showed no mercy. These are wild animals. What can you do? Absolutely crazy, y'all. Absolutely crazy. Let me know your thoughts on that situation. Let me know what you think about that. I hope no one who's watching this is thinking about climbing down and going into a lion enclosure. You remember everybody was going about Harambe, the little kid who climbed into the gorilla pen? Had a whole movement about Harambe shouldn't have been killed. But it looks like this lion, they're going through tree. Oh, let's go back. See, look at where's that one statement at? Where is that at? Where is it at? Where is it at? They mentioned something. Yes, let's hold on. So there's one statement right here. So the handlers and the technicians are fully dedicated to the lioness' well-being, ensuring that she recovers and stabilizes emotionally and resumes her normal routine. They're trying to make sure the lion calms back down after just eating somebody, her belly full. It's a crazy world we live in, y'all. It's a crazy world we live in, but we got to review the world together. We have to review the world together. Absolutely crazy. But let's pivot over into the last thing we're going to talk about, Black Friday. Black Friday. Black Friday used to be a good time. They used to actually have deals. But now you just got a mall shooting. Now you just have a mall shooting. So we got a Black Friday mall shooting at the Westfield Valley Fair Mall, where it leaves 3 people injured. So we got a few videos to look at and then an article. Let's get over into it and see what we can learn from this situation. It's a crazy world we live in, y'all, but we got to keep reviewing the world together. We have to keep reviewing the world together.
Shooting happening on one of the busiest shopping days of the year. Here's what we know. 3 people were shot outside the Macy's at Valley Fair. The gunshots sending shoppers scrambling for safety. New video just into the newsroom shows people fleeing into nearby neighborhoods. A similar scene also happening inside the mall.
Now, police say they believe this was an isolated shooting and not an active shooter scenario, but they say the suspect did flee before police got there.
Let's get to the scene now. NBC Bay Area's Jocelyn Moran was one of the first reporters on the scene after the shooting. She's been there for hours and is live outside Valley Fair Mall. Jocelyn, what do you have for us?
Garvin, Jess, police are still here outside of Valley Fair. They say the shooting happened outside of Macy's on the 2nd floor. Those gunshots sent people running. Some were able to find the nearest exit. Others had to hide inside stores. This video here is from one woman we talked with who hid inside a back room of the Gap store. She heard the gunshots, but in the midst of the chaos was separated from her family members. We talked with her as well as a couple of her relatives who got separated.
And we were just like all sitting at a table chilling together, and then all of a sudden we start hearing like pop sounds, several pop sounds, and we start seeing people running.
But there was so much chaos, and even a lot of people were getting injured on the way running out because there was a really narrow like bottleneck at the exits, to the point where we got separated. Even though I was with the group, like with my family members, they were separated into a back store of a Gap.
I kept calling my dad. I was spamming him. He's not answering me. It was like heartbreaking, like, because I wasn't with him in the mall. I just saw him like an hour ago and we separated in the mall. And then like you're just thinking like, what if that was the last time I saw him?
Police say there are 2 adult victims and 1 16-year-old victim. They are confident this was an isolated incident. Police believe something happened with one of the victims and the suspect, which led to the shooting. They are talking with witnesses and going through surveillance video. Police say the suspect fled before officers got there. The 3 victims had gunshot wounds but are expected to survive.
We can say for a matter of fact that the suspect was not targeting unsuspected shoppers who were here just trying to make purchases and enjoy their holiday. I would say that San Jose Police Department is doing everything to identify this suspect, and as soon as we know who they are and once they're brought to justice, we will let everybody know.
And of course, in the midst of this, there was a lot of chaos outside of the Bolero. There's a shattered glass with a shattered window with a big hole. One person we talked to tells us he was inside the Bolero when he heard the gunshots and he broke the glass to get out. And even though police say this was an isolated incident, this has a lot of people shaken up and thinking twice about going to the mall.
I'm only online shopping now. Like, why come to the mall if this is like an actual...
It's a tragic situation. Tragic situation. Can't even be safe in the mall. Black Friday shopping, spending your money on sales that aren't really sales. Some kind of incident. Somebody got angry, pulled out a gun, and started shooting. Luckily, it wasn't like someone who just wanted to commit a mass murder. It's tragic to say, but it would have been. It's awful. Absolutely awful. And we are lucky that no one died. Let's keep going.
Possibility.
Okay.
I'm 28 years old, and I feel like I've experienced a lot. There's nothing that equates to, a life or death situation like this when you're dealing with the unknown and you're dealing with an unknown threat, and you see the mass hysteria around you. It's terrifying. It's soul-crunching.
Now, police did say because of the shooting, they are going to be boosting up security as well as patrols at Valley Fair. Thankfully, like we mentioned, those victims have non-life-threatening injuries, but definitely a very scary situation for people who are trying to figure out what happened and for people who are really just shopping this Black Friday. Garvin, Jess.
Jocelyn, 2 questions for you. Do police anticipate that the mall will be open tomorrow for shopping? And do they know anything about the potential relationship between those 3 victims?
We don't know exactly if the mall is going to be open tomorrow. That's not something he addressed, but he did say, police said that they are going to be boosting security as well as patrols. But just like we have been mentioning, the people we have talked to, the victims, or excuse me, the people who were inside the mall and went running, they tell us they don't feel comfortable coming back to the mall. They are very scared to go back to mall. They are thinking twice, and like you heard, they would rather do online shopping right now. The second question, Jess, can you repeat that one?
I was just asking if the police have given you any indication what the relationship is between the people that were shot, if any.
Right, like we mentioned, police do believe this is an isolated incident. They believe something happened between the suspect and one of the victims. They're going through surveillance video to figure out exactly what led up to the shooting, but they believe one of the victims and the suspect, something happened, and then there were two other victims who were caught in the middle of it, Jess.
Yeah, so we use our context clues. We can understand what happened. Some kind of fight happened, some kind of argument, someone losing the argument, people love to, when they lose an argument or about to get into a fight, they pull out a gun and start shooting. It's a tragic situation, but we understand because we've seen it too many times before. Let's get over into this next video. Let's get over into this next people. But it looks like that the suspect has been caught. So let's get over into it and see what we can learn.
We start with breaking news this morning. Police arrested a suspect in the Black Friday shooting that injured at least 3 people at the Westfield Valley Fair Mall. Thanks so much for joining us today. I'm Stephanie Lynn. San Jose police just made this announcement in the last 30 minutes. Let's get straight to KRON 4's Will Tran, who is live in San Jose with the latest on that. Will.
The public can breathe a sigh of relief. It took a couple of days, but the San Jose Police Department finally, they say, arrested the man they believe was responsible for sending thousands of people running for their lives instead of running for deals. They ran out of the mall after shots rang out from the mall right behind me. Let me show you the picture that they just posted on X. They said, ladies and gentlemen, we got him. It took a couple of days. They blotted out his
I want to see the face,
but they believe this is the man responsible for shooting 3 people on Black Friday at a time when thousands of people were out at around 5:40 on Friday evening having a good time with family and friends looking for deals, when all of a sudden shots rang out. People ran to clothes racks to hide themselves. They ran out of the mall, through the neighborhoods, thinking it was a mass shooting. It was so bad that the San Jose Police Department, they actually increased patrols, had officers over the weekend to make sure that the shoppers were safe while they were searching for this particular person. They did not go into detail as to exactly where this person was located, but they did say he was arrested last night. This all started with an altercation between, they say, this man and another man when shots rang out. That man was injured, along with a woman and a 16-year-old girl. They believe the woman and the 16-year-old girl were innocent bystanders. All 3 victims suffered non-life-threatening injuries. As far as the suspect, the San Jose Police Department, they plan to hold a news conference at 4 o'clock this afternoon to go into detail. But if you're shopping this morning, you can breathe a sigh of relief because, at least according to the San Jose Police Department, they have their suspect.
Absolutely crazy. So the suspect, let's go back. Where is he at? So the suspect, who they aren't showing his face, of course, but hopefully we'll go into an article where we can find his actual face. But he said that he got into an argument with another person. Got into an argument, and we all knows what happens. Someone got too upset. He pulled out a gun, started shooting. Didn't care who he hit behind him, but he ended up hitting a woman and a 16-year-old girl. Luckily, they didn't lose their lives. It's a tragic scene. There's too many people with guns who can't handle their emotions, who don't know how to properly use guns. Too many people who are quick to jump to pull out a gun instead of handling. If they want to get into an argument, I prefer more people just to fight. Swing with your fist. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Let's get over into this article and see what else we can find. So, let's see. Police in San Jose said that a suspect has been arrested in connection with the triple shooting that took place in the Westfield Valley Fair Mall on Black Friday. In a statement Monday, police announced that arrest was made Sunday night and posted a picture of the suspect in handcuffs. They did not report the suspect's name. Around 5:40 Friday, officers were called to the mall on reports of a shooting. 3 victims were located and were taken to a local hospital. Police said that the victims' injuries were not life-threatening. Following the shooting, police said initial information led them to believe that the incident was gang-motivated. The mall reopened to shoppers on Saturday, so they didn't even take a whole day. They just finished. Thank you to our officers who worked nonstop since Friday to make the arrest. Let's see. The police were expected to release additional details about the suspect at a news conference. Let's see if we got any more. Let's see any more. Let's see. Any more triple suspect? Police didn't offer details. They said they would press conference on Monday. A woman, a 16-year-old girl, taken to a local hospital. Preliminary details. Let's see. Anything else? Anything else? Go back. So that was at 10. No. That might be the most recent stuff we have on this. Let me do a quick search real quick. See if we can. Let's get over into it. Get over into this. Not going to watch the whole thing.
This incident without a loss of life is in part due to the swift, coordinated response of our officers, our partner agencies, mall security, and fire and EMS. As you would expect, since Friday, every available resource has been dedicated to apprehending the shooter. Our detectives have been working nonstop, following every lead, reviewing hours of surveillance footage, interviewing witnesses across 2 cities, and coordinating with multiple partner agencies. Late last night, a little more than 48 hours after the shooting, San Jose officers located and arrested the juvenile suspect at a residence in San Jose.
Juvenile.
We're grateful this wasn't an active shooter situation, but we were prepared for one. We've trained out this location with our partner agencies, and when this unfolded, every agency moved into the mall exactly as we'd practiced, ready for anything. I want to thank every San Jose police officer, as well as all of our partner agency personnel who responded on Friday and worked throughout the weekend, including the Santa Clara Police Department, the Santa Clara County Sheriff's Office, the California Highway Patrol, the ATF, the FBI, the San Jose Fire Department, Valley Fair Mall Security, and EMS workers. I want to thank you for your speed, your professionalism, and your relentless follow-through. Sorting through a chaotic incident like this and tracking down a suspect who fled into a crowd of thousands is no small feat. This was an outstanding investigation led by our gang investigation.
Now I'm going to fast forward some just so we can.
With Santa Clara County Probation, our Ghost Unit, amongst other tools, and our covert response. Disclose about him, but I can talk about the reality we keep seeing. Covert response disclose about him, but I can talk in our real-time intelligence center, who utilized automated license plate reader cameras, amongst other tools, and our covert response unit. Because the suspect is a juvenile, I'm limited in what I can disclose about him, but I can talk about the reality we keep seeing over and over again. Young offenders with prior firearm arrests receiving little to no consequences, getting another gun, and escalating their violence, and that appears to be the case here. In February of this year, this suspect fled from San Jose PD gang enforcement officers and was found to have a loaded gun in his waistband. The suspect's case resulted in a deferred entry of judgment. The suspect was placed on a probation plan of sorts, which required him to, among other things, obey all laws. Earlier this year, I stood here and talked about a 13-year-old murder.
So basically, he got a slap on the wrist before. We just got to simplify. He got a slap on the wrist before. They didn't truly punish him. And then he goes back and commits another crime. Are we surprised? No, we're not surprised. When you don't punish the initial crime, give them a slap on the wrist, they will offend again. That's what I've seen all the time. But you might feel differently. Let me know.
Suspect whose potential consequences seem more appropriate for stealing a car than taking a life. Our officers have a limited ability to prevent this kind of juvenile violence when our juvenile laws are so weak that young offenders feel almost no fear of consequences. They bring guns into our malls and fire them indiscriminately. In California, our laws do not treat gun violence with meaningful consequences, and if you're a juvenile, the consequences are quite frankly almost non-existent. I'm not sure what it will take for well-intended lawmakers to wake up and realize that gun violence should never have been lumped in with nonviolent property crimes in California's efforts to reform our system. I'm not sure what tragedy will finally be the watershed moment when we fix what is clearly broken. When there are little to no meaningful consequences for committing a gun crime, we should not be surprised when more gun crimes follow. When we blur the line between lesser offenses and gun violence, we send the message that picking up a gun is just another bad decision, not a life-threatening choice that endangers an entire community. I'm grateful that our district attorney, Jeff Rosen, takes gun violence as seriously as we do, and I'm confident he will do so in this prosecution. The victims in this case deserve better. The thousands of people who ran for their lives on Friday deserve better. And the officers working these cases, day and night, deserve a system that will actually hold violent juveniles accountable before more people are hurt. To the victims and their families, we're praying for your recovery, and we will keep pushing for a justice system that prioritizes your safety at least as much as it prioritizes the future of those who choose to pick up a gun and pull the trigger. The investigation is ongoing, and we have more work to do. But let me close with this. Violence, especially gun violence committed by juvenile offenders, is not something we will normalize in this or tolerate in this city. While we wish there were stronger laws in place to protect the public, the San Jose Police Department and our partners will continue to do everything in our power to find anyone who commits violence here and bring them to justice. You cannot do this in San Jose and get away with it. Not now, not ever. Thank you.
Oh, he's spitting facts. I can't say nothing wrong with it. Come on now, we got to be honest. Even as a kid, as a young kid, think about it. Your parents disciplined you. If you got away with something, you were more likely to do it again. If they didn't discipline you, but once you got that discipline, you got that belt. Now you're like, yeah, that wasn't it. I'm not trying to do that again. I'm not trying to get that punishment again. But I guess that simple fact just escapes some lawmakers. You give a slap on the wrist for a gun offense, even though they're a juvenile. The police are saying that. That's what the police said. They said that a juvenile with a gun offense, basically nothing happens to them. And they're most likely to do it again. It's a crazy world we live in, y'all, ain't it? It's a truly crazy world, but we got to review the world together. Let's see if they ask any good quick questions.
I'll turn it over to Mayor Matt Mahan.
Oh, the mayor. Let's get over and see what he said.
Thank you, Chief. Good afternoon. Thank you all for being here. I want to start by echoing the Chief's thanks to partner agencies, starting with the City of Santa Clara, County of Santa partnership here, best in the country, and work to apprehend the suspect and get him into custody quickly. This arrest means a lot to our city because
they're just going to go over it. But we got the gist of what's happening. If you want to go back and watch the full press conference, we're not going to go through it here, but it's a crazy world, y'all. It's a crazy world. What are your thoughts? How do you feel about the slap on the wrist that they gave him first, and then this ended up getting a woman and a 16-year-old shot who wasn't even involved in it? Absolutely crazy, y'all. But we got to review the world together. We have to review the world together. Hopefully, we get an age later on, or maybe we might get a name. Probably won't, but just especially since it's a juvenile. But it's a crazy world, y'all. It's truly a crazy world. Let me know your thoughts on that situation. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. But that is it for the show today. Like always, thank you for watching now. Thank you for watching later. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. It's a crazy world. We talked about a lot of crazy things. We got over 1,000 people died in Southeast Asia from the storm. Stockton mass shooting. We talked about a teen who wanted to be a lion tamer, who shimmied down a tree, ended up getting eaten by a lioness. And then the Black Friday mall shooting, where a juvenile who already had prior offenses goes to the mall, gets into a beef with somebody, and starts shooting indiscriminately. Well, he tried to shoot his target, of course, but didn't care about who he hit behind, who he shot. Let me know your thoughts on all these situations. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said, if I got something wrong. It's a crazy world, y'all, we live in, but we got to review the world together. We have to review the world together. Thank you for whoever tuned in. Thank you for who watched now. Thank you who watched later. The world is a crazy place, y'all. The world is a crazy place. But you already know these videos will be broken down so you can watch the exact one you want to. Remember to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so you can be up to date on all the videos I'm dropping. But you already know, gotta play the outro, y'all. That's it for now. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.